beginning. Let's rejoice. Thank God it's Friday. Friday night hangout. Let's celebrate. A season of new beginning. Let's rejoice. Thank God it's Friday.
Hello. Ooh, the network has been crazy this evening. Okay. Hello, and I hope you can all see me. Okay, good evening. Good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're just joining in, a very big welcome to you. Welcome to the Friday night hangout. And this is our first episode in August. Hey, Chi, how are you doing? Welcome. So this is our first episode this August, and I'm excited that we're doing this. It's been a very hectic week for me. Yesterday I had to just shut down. I had to. Oh, great! Thanks for seeing me. So yesterday I had to shut down. It was just a little bit too much. I decided to breathe. So as always, I'll welcome you to the show. I'm always excited to see you here. I'm Joy Onyeso, your host, and this is a Friday night hangout, your safe space for learning, for sharing, for celebrating, and for networking. So to all, you know, loyal customers who have been coming here, you've been here, always participating, our viewers, thank you so much. You make this happen. And if you're new, this is me saying a very big welcome to you. Welcome to Friday Night Hangout Tribe. This is our interesting space where we learn to thrive, not just survive, right? And this month, we're going to be discussing a very interesting topic, which is how to grow your brand. This is a very interesting topic. Whether you're a professional, you're a business owner, you're an individual, we all want to grow our brand. We all want to grow our brand in such a way that our brand has an influence, our brand is sustainable. So whatever we're going to discuss here can actually be used you can actually adapt it to either your profession or your business or even your personal brand. But I'm going to be talking about and giving instances using business brands, right? But that doesn't mean it doesn't apply to people who owns personal brands, right? Okay, so we're going to today focus on understanding your brand. That is actually the first step in growing your brand. You need to understand your brand before you can actually grow your brand. So we're going to start off with that. And moving forward, we'll be talking about, and moving forward, we'll be looking at different aspects of growing your brand. So today we're going to look at understanding your brand. So when we talk about understanding your brand, what do we really mean? Now, your understanding your brand, like I said, is the first step in growing your brand. And this means that you understand all the facets of your brand, from the color to the logo to the graphics to the messaging, to the overall narrative about that your business. And leveraging on these elements will help you effectively market your brand. So your brand is beyond the logo. Most of us go into our brand, we know about the logo, we focus on the logo, the color, the graphics. Yes, these are very important aspects of your brand, but it goes way beyond that. You have to also look at the messaging that you put out there. You also need to look at, the voice that your brand shows up with. And then how do you leverage on all of these things? What storyline are you building for your brand? People will identify with a brand that has a storyline. So, what kind of story? That's the narrative about your brand. So, branding is not just about the color, logo, graphics, it's way beyond that. Hey, my sister, how are you? Thank you so much. Thank you, my sister Neka. Nice to have you here. Welcome, Miracle. So, your brand goes beyond that. Now, you might ask the question, okay, so how do I even begin to understand my brand? Yeah, that's why we're here tonight. So, tonight I'm going to share with you some steps that you can take to give you a better understanding of your brand. I do know that, some of us will say, oh, my brand is so personal to me. I don't know how to communicate it. Well, you need to understand the brand in such a way that you can communicate it. Because if you can't communicate your brand, then it's difficult for you to effectively market your brand. In other words, it becomes difficult for you to, market the products or the services that your brand offers. And like I said, your brand goes beyond the product or the service that you offer. It's way beyond that. Yes, those are very important, but you also need to understand the whole narrative about the brand. And one of the first steps I would say is understand what sets you apart. That's number one. In understanding your brand, if you're interested in understanding your brand, the first place to go to, the first place, hey, Madam Nike, nice to have you. Yay, it's always interesting to see you all. Sorry if I don't call your name, I just call the names as they pop up on my screen, so apologies in advance. Now, the first step, to take in understanding your brand is understand what sets you apart from your competitors. This is what we call your differentiation factor. What sets you apart? What is that your unique selling proposition? USP. I've spoken about this severally on this show. And if by chance you're asking yourself, what is USP? Your unique selling proposition. Yeah, you can take steps to understanding that. Is what sets your products or your services apart from that of your competitors. One of the first place to look at is look at, the value you're offering, look at your customer base. So, you look at your customer base, the feedback you get, your market, you have to understand all of these things. And if you understand all of these things, then Oh, I'm back. Yeah. I'm excited. I'm back. The network has been crazy. Oh my goodness, the network is challenging tonight. Okay. I hope network would the network is so bad tonight, right? So some days are like this, so bad. So we're talking about how to grow your business. And the first point in our conversation is understanding your brand. You cannot grow a business that you do not understand. So if you want to grow your business, the first thing is to understand that business. And I said, understanding your brand involves knowing everything, understanding all the elements of your business, which goes beyond the logo, the graphics, the color. It also includes the messaging, your products and services. It also includes knowing what sets you apart, your differentiation factor, what sets your product or services apart from that of your customers. And one of the ways of knowing your unique selling proposition is to first of all look at your products and services, have a good understanding of them. Then you look at your target audience. You also look at what solution you're profiling to your customers, both your prospective customers and your existing customers. And then the key question you'd ask yourself is, what value, what benefit do your prospective customers or your current clients get from using that your product or services that they cannot get elsewhere? Once you can honestly reflect on this and answer this questions, then you're in a good place in knowing what to focus on. Network. Okay, so it's also important that you get feedback from your customers. See, this is where data is very important. As a business owner, you cannot afford to run your business without having periods where you get data in form of feedbacks, reviews from your clients, from your team members, your staff, everyone involved in your business. Is important for you to get a perspective of how to see the business, what the experience has been in the business. So when I'm talking about business, like I said earlier on, it could be not for profit business. So even if you're running an NGO, it's also important that you understand what you are giving out there, because you'll be giving out services. What differentiates your NGO from the next? How are you better positioned to serve your target audience? These are very key questions that you need to understand. Now, remember, we're talking about how to understand your brand as a way of growing your brand. And I said the first thing is understanding your unique selling proposition, and I've told you how to go about it. The second thing you would do is you need to research on your target audience. You need to understand their lifestyle, you need to understand their pain, understand what they need. If you do not know in details those you're positioning yourself to serve, then it's very difficult for you to create a connection. So for you to create a connection, you also must understand their pain area. You must understand what solution they're out there seeking for, and then you position yourself to provide that for them. You need to invest in this. One way of getting to know this is by researching. So research the current market trends, research on your persona, or I call your avatar, or the people or group of persons that you want to serve, and get it very. If the more personalized it is, the better for you, because you give yourself the opportunity to really study and understand. Remember that when you are out there to serve everybody, if you're making a product that is for everybody, then the product is really for nobody, because as a brand you cannot serve everyone. There has to be that target audience who you're positioning yourself to meet their needs, provide solutions to them, give them value. And because the more you customize your services, then the better for the clients, because it means that you are going to give them more value. You spend more time trying to understand their needs, and spend more, and you invest more time, finances, in making sure that you provide value for them. So it's not all just about the money, money, money. There has to be the value element. And that's one of the key things as a business you cannot joke with. You cannot joke with the value element. What value are you giving to your clients? You need to be able to articulate this very clearly. Then the other thing you need to do is also to clarify your message. Clarify your message. Remember, I said in understanding your brand, you need to understand your messaging. So what message are you passing out there, and to whom are you sending that message to? You can't just be sending message to everyone. There has to be a certain people that what the message you're sending out will connect their minds, their hearts, everything to you. And that is when selling happens. That's when purchase happens, right? That's when connection also happens. The key thing about sales is there has to be a connection, and you also must be giving the value that resonates with them. For instance, if you're selling, if okay, I'm using medicated glasses, right? So if you're by chance a business that deals with things around, the eyes, the sight, the glasses, the tendency is that you attract someone like me, because that's my pain area. I would want to know, how can I maybe get good frames, get something to clean my lenses with, or all those kind of stuff. Those are the kind of things that will attract someone like me. Just giving an instance of some of the things, right? Now you want to be able to understand the kind of audience you want to attract. Not everyone using recommended glasses would come to you if you're selling glasses. One of the other things that will matter will be the cost of the glasses. So you need to know your market very well. If you want to sell to someone who is low income, mid income, or high income, the messaging will not be the same thing. It's not the same message. Of course, those in the high income, they are looking beyond what you're offering to even more of luxury as well. So some of them will be looking at luxury products, because at that point they've gotten beyond the just struggling. They are thriving. And so most of the things they want to get in that area will be something that would make them look classy, will make them stand out from the crowd. So you want to coin your messaging in a way that it attracts those kind of people. Who are your clientels? So you need to be very clear on who your messaging is for. You can't be using the same language that you're using, for high end, mid end, low income. No, it will not work. So clarify your audience and clarify your messaging. Once you can clarify your messaging, that becomes very key. So that when you're speaking in that language, I can connect with you. whoever it is that is your target audience can connect with what you're saying. You won't be speaking high-end language and then someone will be like, what's this person talking about? So that's like when you want to sell, if you're a travel agency, of course, you know what the economy is right now. The kind of people that can afford to buy travel tickets, pay for visa service and all of that, you know, those will be from the mid income level to the high income level. You want to research the lifestyle of those kind of people and speak the kind of audio, the kind of language that resonates with them. The other thing is, you know, you also want to know where to find your target audience. So in understanding your brand, you want to even know where to position your brand. So if you're a travel agent and you're going into the very low income neighborhood, you know, to sell travel tickets and all that or travel opportunities, no one will listen to you. It's going to be a whole lot of struggle for them. So know the channels of communication to use, clarify your message, and also know the voice you use. Every brand has a voice. You want to know your voice and make sure that you're using a consistent voice, because like a human being, just look at your brand as a human being. Your brand has a personality of its own. You know how sometimes you're drawn to someone because of the tone, because of the voice. Every brand has that characteristic. There's certain characteristics every brand comes to the table with, either consciously or unconsciously. So it's very important that you need to, you know, um, you need to be very you need to very intentionally know the kind of characteristics you want to build or develop for your brand, and so that that sets you apart, that becomes, you know, what people can relate with, what people can know you for. I see a question here, and Ozema is saying, what about products that has to do with the academics, mental things? Yeah, very, very interesting question. Now, when you say what about the product that has got to do with academics, mental things, it's very vast, in the sense that everyone at different level, you know, we're involved in the academics. So whether you are low income, high income, you know, mid income, we have children who go to school. There are different levels. So you need to clarify what kind of academic product you want to get involved in. And now, for you to do that, you also need to know where your passion lies and then what solution you're proffering. Because the key thing is understanding the solution, the value you bring to the table. If you go to someone who is struggling to eat 2 times a day, if you go to someone who is struggling perhaps to send the child to school, and then you're not talking about extra lessons that they have to pay for, of course, the tendency that they will listen to you is very, very low, because they're still struggling to pay fees and all that. And you're talking about extra lessons that will you make them pay more fees. Of course, that will not fly. So it depends on the solution you're proffering. And then you need to look at who needs that. There has to be a lot of research going into this. Unfortunately, most of us jump into businesses without doing that background research. It's okay if you've done that already, but put the effort into researching your market, into researching your target audience. Get to know who needs that product you have. Remember that you're not selling the product to yourself. You're not in business for yourself, because you can't buy up all what you're producing, all the services you're offering. There are some people you have in mind when you design that product. Who are they? Where do they stay? What kind of things do they like? What will attract them into getting your product? Those research has to be done, right? So mental things apply to certain kind. Even let me give you an instance. Like in Nigeria, I'm a coach consultant. Now, in terms of the coaching industry, you find out that we're still backwards when you compare it to the Western world, because in the Western world, they've known the value. I won't say forward to, you know, to coach their team members for higher productivity. But in our clime Nigeria, where there's a lot of struggle, there's a lot of uncertainty, we see those things as luxury. We see those things as luxury. People would rather do the try and failure method and all that and spend a longer time. So you then, as a coach, you need to know, okay, where would I find my target audience? What kind of things appeal to them? This is what I love to do. this is the skill set that I have. Who needs the skill set that I have? And then you begin to do the research. And this is where feasibility and all of that's coming to play. It's a business. So when you want to run any business, you have to do all that back end, right? All that back end work needs to be done. There are no two ways about it. When you talk about growing a business, that will come up later in the month when we go deeper into how to grow your business. But for today, we are focusing on understanding your brand, and it's so important that you understand your brand beyond your product or services. Some of us just get stuck in the product and services. Beyond that, you need to look out and understand your target audience. You need to look out and understand the voice, your messaging, clarify your message so that you don't attract the wrong people. Let me give us a story. Let me give you a personal story. Like if you notice on my wall, I hardly do giveaways like I used to before, right? And let me tell you why. Now I found out that when I started doing giveaway consistently on my wall, what happened was I was attracting the crowd that were coming to look for charity. And so when you attract those kind of people, if you are using your wall, your Facebook wall or your social media wall for business, the tendency is that you're not attracting a buying audience. So you want to be mindful that you also attract the kind of audience that you want to serve. And so I have a foundation which is 100% charity. And that is where I need to channel them to. And that's what I started doing. So that's why I said your messaging needs to be very clear. So you don't attract the wrong kind of audience. And it's your messaging that will be important. Clarify your message so they know who you're there to serve. You cannot serve everyone. Joy says, running, whatever brand it is that you're running, you can apply the same, adapt what we're discussing today to it. Whether you're running a fashion business, you're running whatever business you're running is all about the brand. So all you need to do is adapt the knowledge you're getting together today to your business. The key thing is know all about your business. Know your narrative. Know your product and service in and out. Who is it for? What solution does? Some of us don't. If you're asked to talk about your product or talk about your services, you can't speak about it in a convincing way. And that's where the unique selling proposition comes into play. Now, when you understand because for you to be able to talk about your differentiation factor, that's your USP, your unique selling proposition, you must know your brand in and out. And you can talk about your services, your product, and tell me, look, this is what I offer. This is what I'm uniquely able to offer. As a coach, I can tell you precisely that when you come into my coaching academy, one of the things you get is a safe space to explore, to learn, and to thrive. And that's what some of us are really looking for. Where can I get that safe space to make those mistakes, to fail forward? And I'll say, this is a space where you can do that. And the other thing about one of other unique selling proposition I have is I come from a kingdom perspective. So it doesn't matter if you're a believer, but the principle still applies. You can adapt it to suit you. But that's one of my unique selling propositions. So you need to understand your business in and out. So when you speak about it in a way that can convince people that you know what their pain is, you understand what the challenges is, and that you can provide the solution to that. That's what draw people. Ask yourself, why are you on the Friday night hangout tonight? If you know you're not going to get value, you're not going to be on this show tonight. In the last 3 years that we've hosted this show, we've seen, we've gotten a lot of testimony from people coming in here, applying the knowledge. And that's one of the things we do here. So you need to understand clearly your target audience, your product and services, the uniqueness of that your products and services, and what benefits your prospective clients can get from it that they cannot get elsewhere. You need to know it. Once you can do this, you're on your way to crafting your unique today. The network is so bad. It's really so bad. So I'm just going to quickly wrap up before he kicks me out again. Oh my goodness. I'm just going to wrap up the conversation today. So the 4 key things I want your brand. The first thing is factor. What is the uniqueness of your brand? What is that thing that sets you apart from your competitors? We call it the unique selling proposition of your brand. Know what it is. And for you to know what it is, you need to do like a survey. You need to get feedback from your clients. If you don't know, if you some of this are what will help you understand your core values. Get feedbacks from your clients. Ask them key questions that can give you an insight into what you're doing so well, what sets you apart. Getting feedback from them is really helpful. And then also research on your target audience a lot to get real insight on what they need, what really is their pain area, what will make them connect with you. You need to clarify your voice. Clarify your voice, your messaging. Very important. When you're selling to everyone, you're selling to no one. And when you're speaking to everyone, you're speaking to no one. You can't sell who really you want to be in the market for. Then you also need to understand the market, the ongoing market trends. Don't just put your head down and just get so absorbed in trying to grow your business that you should not look around to study the market. Know when the trends are changing so you do not become irrelevant in your industry. Know what time of the day it is in your industry and see how you can leverage on the opportunities that the changing market presents to actually grow your business. And also invest a lot. You're in business to serve a certain group of people. And so we can't overemphasize the need to invest in getting to know them very well, in getting to know what solutions to give to them, so that you can better position yourself to provide value. At the end of the day, being in business and growing your business sustainably is all about providing value, understanding your target audience, and expanding your customer base. You want to have repeat customers. And the more repeat customers you have, the more the likelihood of your business growing. Your business will not just be surviving, it will thrive. So thank you very much for staying with me. And the network has been really something else, but I'm sure you got value. Miracle said, I learned that every brand has a voice and a lot more beautiful. Goodness says, master your brand. Muzima says, understand your brand very well. It has a voice, master it. Goodness says, identify your target audiences. Your voice is meant for particular people, not everybody. On this note, I'll say thank you so much for joining in. Osima said, I learned to do a lot of back end research. Beautiful. Hey, Marisa Chinwamedu, nice to have you here. We're just wrapping up for the evening. Nice to see you here. Okay, so I'm glad you got value despite the network wahala. You still got value. Stay with me. Next week, Friday, we're going to continue the conversation. Remember, this month, we're looking at how to grow your brand. And this is just the first part of the conversation where we looked at understanding your brand. Now, if you're in business or you're in any profession, you want to listen in this conversation. So play the replay, watch it, get the nuggets. And next week, Friday, is another time, 7 p.m. I look forward to seeing you. And so from me to you is bye. Have a blessed evening and remember to smell the roses. Take care. Love you, honor you, and I celebrate you. Bye. Love you so much.